Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to the awards contender. So I apologize for the tardiness on this reactions video to the Emmys. I had a wedding last night that went late, and then some appointments this morning. So it was hard just to find time to watch the show, let alone record this video. It's finally here. I have some thoughts on this year's Emmys. The first one being, boy, did I screw up those predictions. Like, oh my god. I'm watching the show like one win after another. I'm like, got that wrong. Got that wrong. Got that wrong. Jesus. You know, I put some thought into those predictions, and at a certain point, watching the telecast of this year's Emmys, I'm like, you can just like throw a dart at names on a board and do better than how I did predicting, especially in drama series categories. I'm like, I watched these shows and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, some of the wins are kind of arbitrary. It'll be for a show that's like, you know, like not in series, or it didn't do very well in nominations across the board. And then it'll win a big category. And I'm like, well, wait, like, how did it win that if the show wasn't in series and stuff? Like, you know, when it comes to the Oscars, it is easier to predict the Oscars in a way because you have so many precursors. You have like the Telecast award ceremonies, like the Golden Globes and SAG and BAFTA and stuff. You also have like PGA, DGA, WGA, critics groups, you know, starting in like December. So there's like a lot to go off of when you're predicting the Oscars. The Emmys, not so much. It's just kind of like a vibe. You know, it's like, oh, such and such, like they didn't win last year or the year before, so they probably won't win this year. And then they do, right? In the case of Hannah Einbinder for Hacked, which was such a lovely surprise. Because she never wins, I thought, well, you know, in some ways she had an even stronger season 3 than season 4, so she probably doesn't win this year. And then she did. That was freaking great. So I'll go through the categories, starting in the order of like how I predicted. I did comedy, drama, and limited series. So let's begin by talking about the comedy series categories. My favorite show in that lineup was The Studio. And so I predicted that to win Best Comedy Series, Best Actor and stuff. And I thought, well, like, I think it's the strongest one. And I feel like they're going to go for it, but I wasn't sure. Like, if The Studio had won nothing, it wouldn't have been the shocker of the night. So I was like, well, it could go either way. So I was thrilled and relieved to see it win some big prizes, like it won directing, it won writing, series, actor. I think Seth Rogen won a trophy for all 4 of those wins, right? Like, there's a picture of him holding like a ton of Emmy trophies. So that was great. That, if you haven't seen The Studio, it's really fun. Check it out. I did predict Catherine O'Hara was going to win supporting actress in a comedy for The Studio. I just thought they would go for her. She's so funny on that show, and you know, she's won before. That made sense to me. So I had Hannah Einbinder up near the top in like second or third place. Every year, I'm like, she's deserving of it, but I don't know, man. You know, they might just give it to Jean Smart again in Best Actress, which they did. She has now won 4 Emmy trophies for each season, right? She's won for every season of the show so far. So they love her as they should. Jean Smart is freaking amazing in Hacks. But I'm like, Hannah Einbinder is as good and deserving. Like, she should win at some points. And she finally did. Gave a great speech. It was a wonderful moment. I'm so happy Hannah Einbinder finally has won an Emmy for Hacks. About damn time. And then, like, the biggest shocker of the entire night was in supporting actor. I wasn't quite sure how that category would go. I was leaning toward Harrison Ford for Shrinking, because he's doing some of his best work of his career on that show. If you haven't watched it, check it out. And he has this dynamite, dramatic moment at the end of season 2 that took my breath away. And I just thought, like, yeah, let's give Harrison Ford an Emmy. That would be awesome. But like now, like looking back, I'm like, well, his best moment in season 2 is a dramatic moment, not a funny moment. So maybe that played into it. But then they announced the winner as Jeff Hiller for Somebody Somewhere. And I'm like, what? What? Like, I know that show got at least one other nomination, I think in writing or directing or something. But it's like, it's not in series. It's not in any other acting category. So I think when I was predicting this, like a few weeks ago, I was like, Jeff Hiller is probably in last place. Like in terms of like probability of him winning. I'm just like, I think he's just happy to be there. And then he wins, you know, with all of these nominees, some much bigger shows that are in series and lots of other acting categories. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty inspired. And, you know, one of the best speeches of the night. I was really thrilled by that win too. But like, that is telling, I think, how hard it is to predict the Emmys. Jeff Hiller's win. I'm like, who predicted that? Like, did anyone predict that? I'm just like, again, like throwing darts at a board. It's like how can you really do well in your Emmy predictions? I've just decided moving forward, like I'm gonna enjoy the show. Like, you know, if I do well in my predictions next year, great. But it's just so hard because they have these wins that come out of nowhere. I'm just like, okay. So yeah, that was comedy series. Some really cool wins there. I'm happy the studio won Best Series. If you have not seen the studio, holy freaking cow. I was so close to making like an individual review of that for the channel. I loved it so much. And then I think I was out of town for a weekend. Something came up and it never like aligned again when I got back with my schedule and stuff. But yeah, the studio is fantastic. Let's move to the drama series categories, which again, I just did so terrible in my predictions. I mean, like before we got to Noah Wyle and the Pits winning, I got them all wrong. I mean, I was just like, Brian, like you put a lot of thought into making that drama series predictions video. And it's just I could have just thrown out any name and, you know, I would have gotten it or not gotten it. It didn't matter how much thought I put into it. You know, I thought they might like the White Lotus season 3 more than they did, right? They didn't give White Lotus any big prize, like in terms of a win. You know, I thought they would give it something. I mean, that cast for season 3 was incredible. So many great nominations there. I thought the writing and directing was strong. So I was kind of surprised that like White Lotus was just completely shut out in terms of wins. And then it really did come down to Severance versus The Pit, like in Best Actor and Best Series. I was like, Severance has more nominations, so it makes sense they might give it Best Series, and like I know a lot of people were predicting that. It was a very strong season 2 of the show, but my heart was all in on The Pit. That's maybe my favorite show I've seen in the last year. It's so beautifully done, so compelling, every minute. And when Catherine Lanasa won Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series for The Pit, I went, ooh, this is a good sign. This is a good sign. Maybe it can take it. Maybe it'll actually win series. I mean, like, the most obvious win of the night, I thought, outside of maybe Gene Smart for Hacks, I thought Noah Wyle had to win actor, right? He's so great on that show. And he had many nominations for ER back in the day. He never won. So I was like it would make sense to give it to Noah Wyle. So I'm happy that happened. But when Catherine Lanasa won earlier in the show, I went, oh, that's good. That means good things might be coming for The Pit. Tremel Tillman won Supporting Actor for Severance. So that happened. I thought, okay, well, maybe it will be Severance. The back and forth early on between The Pit and Severance, it made it an unpredictable show, right? In terms of the drama series categories. What made it really unpredictable, like once we get to writing and directing, I'm like, what? Directing goes to Slow Horses, writing goes to Andor. I was like, okay. Again, darts. I'm just like, I mean, didn't like Andor really underperform in terms of its nominations? And then it wins writing. So I'm like, okay. So they clearly liked it well enough to give it that big win. Why is it not in other categories? That was weird. And then has Slow Horses won a big prize like the last few years? I don't think it has. It got directing, and that was fantastic. And I was just like, okay, like The Pit and Severance are not winning in directing and writing. What is going to happen in series? I was very confused. I thought Kathy Bates was going to take actress, even though Matlock did not get nominated anywhere else, basically. I just think she's such a legend, and I finally finished watching season 1 of Matlock, and she has some really incredible moments in the last 2 episodes. And I'm like, wow, I mean, this is some of the best acting Kathy Bates has done in a long time. So I don't know if they're watching the whole thing or just an episode like the Academy, but you know, that was well deserving. But Severance being in series and a ton of categories, Britt Lauer winning actress, like in retrospect, yeah, that makes sense. She's really a standout on that show, and I'm happy for her winning this category. And then they really took their time getting to Best Actor in a drama series. It was like right at the end. It was like after they announced the winner of limited series, and like they're giving series prizes. And like, I was fast forwarding and stuff. I'm like, did I miss actor in a drama series? Like, did I miss it? And then I don't know if this happened for any of you, but Noah Wile's win, like I didn't see the beginning of it. It was during a commercial break. It was like a car commercial. And then it just cut back to the show, and he was holding the trophy on stage and beginning his speech. I didn't get to see the part where like they come out and announce the nominees, and Noah Wile, like that part was gone in my telecast that I watched, like the feed. I was like, okay, anticlimactic much. I was like, but I was just, I was so relieved that Noah Wile won. I was at a wedding last night, and I refused to look at my phone. I wanted to watch the show, not knowing who won anything. So I was just like, come on, no matter what happens, Noah Wile is freaking phenomenal in the pits. Give him the Emmy. It happened, so I was thrilled. And then when they ended with drama series, I was like, it's probably going to be Severance. Like, even though The Pit won 2 acting prizes, I was feeling like, I don't know, like Severance, like it won a big acting prize. It has the most nominations. It's probably going to be that, and I'll be happy for Severance. I really want The Pit to win. I love that show. So when they announced The Pit, I just cheered. I was like, yes, nice, awesome. I think that is such a special show. I can't wait for season 2. I am so thrilled that The Pit won Best Drama Series at the Emmys. And then limited series, what is there to say? I was, making that video a few weeks back, like my predictions, and I'm like, I think they're just gonna go all in on Adolescence. It is absolutely extraordinary. Like, I watched that show over a weekend, and I very rarely, guys, make an individual review on this channel about television, like streaming show or something. I don't do that very much. I've only done it this year for Adolescence and The Pit, of course. But Adolescence was so brilliant. I'm like, I'm gonna review this. I have to talk about this show. So going into the telecast, I was like, it's probably just gonna be Adolescence basically across the board, right? And that's what happened. That's what freaking happened. It won everything except for Best Actress, which like it wasn't qualified for. There is no female lead in Adolescence, so it wasn't nominated there. So good on you, Kristen Milioti, for The Penguin. You got to win because there wasn't like a lead female role in Adolescence. This show won everything else. It won actor for Stephen Graham over Colin Farrell for The Penguin. That was kind of surprising to me. I mean, I personally wanted Stephen Graham to win. That final scene in Adolescence broke my heart in two. I mean, wow. And I thought, I was like, that scene might get him the win. But Colin Farrell in The Penguin, I mean, he is unrecognizable, right? It's such a transformation, and the show's really great. I thought, well, like in lead actor, they'll probably go with Colin Farrell. That makes sense. But no, they went with Stephen Graham. They went with Owen Cooper, of course, in supporting actor, the youngest person ever to win in that category. He was also incredible on that show. Just, I mean, oh my God, just such a chilling performance from him. At a young age, and what a great speech he gave. Just what he talked about like 2-3 years ago. He was nobody. He was just going about his life, and now he's like not only in Los Angeles but winning an Emmy, and so that was really cool. So well deserved for Owen Cooper. I can't wait to see where he goes next. And then supporting actress, they also went with Adolescence. They went with Erin Doherty, who has that amazing episode with Owen Cooper. And I was like, when that happened, I said, okay, it's over. It's over for any other show. It's just going to be Adolescence all the way through. It won writing, it won directing, and it won series. And so well deserved. If there's a show in limited series that was like always meant to sweep, that had to sweep, it was Adolescence. I give that show a 10 out of 10. And one of these days, I'm going to watch it again because it's really special. I was a little bummed that Dying for Sex didn't win anything big, like in an actress for Michelle Williams. If you've seen Dying for Sex, like Michelle Williams is amazing in that. And I was still leaning toward her winning. I thought, well, if The Penguin wins something, it'll probably be actor for Farrell. But no, Kristen Milioti won, and that was a deserved win too. She was really excellent on that show, so I was happy for her there. And then Jenny Slate, I thought was also good in Dying for Sex, but you know, she couldn't compete with an actress from Adolescence, right? So that show had to go home empty-handed in the top categories at least, and that was a bummer. But yeah, I was so thrilled to see how well Adolescence did. Clearly the Academy loved that show as much as me and so many others. Really fantastic. So that's this year's Emmys. Like, as a telecast, as a show, it was fine. Like, there was nothing really memorable. The host was pretty flat, I have to say. Like, I didn't get much out of him. And there weren't like too many inspired comic bits or, you know, intros or anything. Like it all was just okay. Nothing like I'm really going to think about a few weeks from now. Probably my 3 favorite moments, like outside of the wins and stuff, was the Golden Girls theme song being sung by Reba McEntire and company. That was great. And like all the cuts to the audience members singing along. Like I really enjoyed that. The Gilmore Girls reunion. I don't know if I've ever said this on the Awards Contender. One of my favorite shows of all time is Gilmore Girls. I just finished my first rewatch of the entire show about 6 months ago, and I miss it. You know, it's oh my god, it's just the coziest show, like, I think ever made. I just love everything about it. So to see Lauren Graham and Alexis Bledel together again on its 25th anniversary, I thought that was really special. And then Stephen Colbert's speech, I thought was outstanding. I mean, I guess that's like part of a win, but not one I predicted, right? Best talk show. You know, like I was really sad to hear that his show is ending in May, and I kind of thought he was going to win, and he just knocked that speech out of the park, what he said at the end. I thought was very moving. I'm so thrilled he won Best Talk Show. Yeah, I enjoyed this year's Emmys, as I often do, even though I did very poorly in my predictions. I hope, like, none of you, you know, like, put money into a pool, like, based on the Awards Contenders Emmy predictions, because I'm sure you lost money, and I apologize. I will try to do better next year, you know. It's a tough game, man. Like, predicting the Emmys is tough. I learn it every year. You know, I went in like semi-confident, and then I'm just like, man, did I get even 50% of these right? I don't think I did. So, you know, I should do better when it comes to the film awards coming up here, which we are getting to. You know, I wore a film by Todd Haynes shirt for this Emmys video because starting now, guys, for the next few months, it's all film all the time on the Awards Contender.